Hello all and welcome. I'm Colette and I'm here today from Which Ways to talk to you about land spirits. Enjoy! I know that not everyone has access or the ability to be out on land. I am going to do a whole video on city and urban witchcraft either next week or the week after. What are land spirits? Different cultures have really different ideas about that and different ways of working with them and honoring them. So generally, I'm mostly talking about spirits of place or genius loci, and that is a Latin phrase, and that refers to any spirit that inhabits a place, and that includes deities in the original Latin meaning. The first one I want to talk about is guardians of place, and I think of these as medium to large size beings energetically. Their job appears to me to be about holding and protecting a specific area. And this could feel like a sense of watchfulness or a strong awareness of power in a particular place. It might feel like an energetic boundary that you can sense with your body or find with a pendulum or get images in your mind about. Or it might just feel large to you overall. The boundaries might also be obvious to the eye or not. Like a mountain, it might appear as a change in terrain or vegetation types, but it may not give you any visual cues at all. An example of a small guardian of place that I frequently encounter is what I call a guardian tree. And when I encounter one of those, it feels a lot like entering the space of a room. Often it's a very old and very large tree. Sometimes I sense many other beings there as well, in addition to the usual life that is present in the plants and animals that it is protecting. In my experience, what guardians of place need from us is acknowledgement, respect, and offerings. For a big one like a mountain, I'm often aware of it no matter where I am, whether I'm on the mountain or at home. And when I'm on a mountain that is a guardian of place, I always take a moment to stop and acknowledge that I'm entering its realm. And I also give offerings, and those could be herbal offerings. And if they are, I make especially sure when I'm giving offerings in the wild that there are no seeds that can sprout and disrupt the ecosystem. I also make sure that my offering is small and just offer it out on the wind so that it doesn't become garbage. I like to leave no trace in that way. Occasionally, you may get a strong feeling of an animal as a guardian of a particular place. If this is the case, I often feel that perhaps this is the home ground for actual physical animals, and I usually retreat. If you're interested in working with guardians of place, they may or may not be interested in working with you. In my personal experience, that is because their job is to protect and maintain a specific area. And so their interest in working with you might have a lot to do with how well they see you, your respect, and your magic fitting in with their agenda. I find that guardians of place are often very interested in working with you if you do establish a relationship with them on any type of magic that is protective of others or vulnerable beings or people or vulnerable pieces of land. And so I would definitely call on them magically in those cases. Another type of land spirit is what I call ecosystem spirits, and they are responsible for the way things connect, communicate, and work together. Think about, again, a large mountain or an entire watershed system or perhaps an entire section of the forest. Like land guardians, they often are quite large, and their main interest is really whether or not you fit in and how you impact the way things work and connect within that system. Getting to know how that system works before you start doing things within it is going to do a lot to further your relationship to that ecosystem spirit. The way that I work with ecosystem spirits is I ask them to teach me about the powers of connection and seeing things as whole systems. I also call on them when I want to protect an entire area, and I always offer them water, respect, a breath, and tread carefully. I want to talk about the mycelial net, and that's a very important one to know about. And the mycelial net is the mycorrhizal roots of funguses like mushrooms that spread over large areas. They interconnect with plants and trees, and they share information, communication, they share food, carbon, minerals, oxygen, and water between trees. The mycelial net is a highly responsive, sentient, aware membrane, and it notices even the footfalls and impact of humans, animals, and even insects. And it's one of the first things to move into a recent burn to start trying to repopulate an area. I find the mycelial net in general to be very happy to work with us for some reason. They're very quick communicators. I was sort of expecting them to be like trees or rocks when I first started trying to communicate with them. And I was all like, hello. And they're like, hello, what can we do for you today? Who are you? Oh, you're you. Okay. And I just find them very quick. And for some reason, they seem to really like humans and want to live around us and work with us to raise our consciousness in various ways. And they are happy to give us information about any particular area that we want to know more about. They'll do that through words if that is within your skill set. They will give you a yes or no answer if you want to use a pendulum, if you have that skill. My sense about the mycelial net is that it really likes words as offerings, and I work with them magically to get any type of earth-based info or to spread magic into the earth. You often run into a lot of other different kinds of spirits on the land, and each of these is highly individualized and unique. For example, it might be the spirit of a spring or a pool of water, or it could be a very large presence that is very powerful that feels almost deity-like. And it might be something as simple as a tree dryad, which is a kind of spirit in European magic that inhabits trees. Sometimes a spirit being takes up residency within them, and you might run into those. And the best thing you can do is just observe, go slow, and get to know them. Some of them are friendly, some of them are not. What they want is individual, just like people, and let the relationship build slowly over time. A lot of people ask me questions about feeling welcome on the land if they are not from this place or indigenous to the particular place where they are living. And one of the things I was taught in an anti-white supremacy workshop is to hold still, be silent, and just ask the question, how can I be in right relationship to this place? And don't expect an immediate answer. Keep asking until you get some information about how you can do that. The other thing that's really helpful is to honor any requests either by indigenous people or by locals in the know about areas to avoid. Occasionally I find spots where the human world and the land of other supernatural beings overlap. In European magic, We call this places where the veil is thin between the worlds, and it could be the human world and just about any other kind of spirit world that you can imagine. These are also called gates or portals, and unless you're super experienced, I would just recommend not engaging with them until you get some more information, or maybe come back with someone who is more experienced. I'm curious, what types of info do you want from me on this topic? This is a huge topic, so let's get a very active question and answer session going in the comments, just so that we can get some different perspectives, because as I said, most of this is my personal experience. I hope you all have enjoyed today's video. If you like my content, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. Until next time, stay safe and be